Hey, it's part 2 of our commonly asked confidence questions, listener submitted questions. And the reason I love these episodes is because when you hear the other types of questions about confidence that other people have, you feel less alone. In this episode, we're going to be going over questions about disappointment, questions about balancing career and family, how to not put pressure on yourself to make the wrong decision, how to have boundaries in the workplace when you want to do more, but you feel like you're stretching yourself thin, how to stop second guessing yourself, and so much more. Hey, everyone loves a good Q&A. Buckle up. I promise you there'll be a question in here that resonates for you. Let's dive in. You're listening to the Confidence Podcast, your go-to for boldness, motivation, and actionable confidence tips. I'm your host, Trish Blackwell, confidence coach, best-selling author, and founder of the College of Confidence. I help go-getters like you master self-talk, quiet self-doubt, and step into the life you were created for. You're here for more, and today's episode will help you claim it. Let's dive in and let's train those confidence muscles. Hey there, it's Trish Blackwell, and you're listening to the Confidence Podcast. This is episode 624, as we already said, commonly asked questions about confidence, part 2. These are all listener submitted questions, and I'm excited to dive in. I'm going to be covering how to advance in your career without sacrificing your close connection to your children, how to not be afraid of making the wrong decision, how to make big decisions in life without feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or like you're second guessing yourself, how to stay confident after disappointments, failures, and when it feels like nothing's working, what to do if you have high anxiety and feel unsettled in the workplace, and how do you know if you should set boundaries, when to do it, and when it's time to move on from a job when you are driven. Hey, if you are new to the Confidence Podcast, we are so happy you are here. We drop new episodes every Tuesday. We have them here on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts. And we have a video version on YouTube and Spotify video. So if you like video or you want to see who you're listening to, come say hi. Okay. So I want to welcome you back if you're new, if you are a returning listener, if you're new, we're so happy that you gave this show a chance, or maybe a friend shared it with you. Whatever the reason, welcome. I believe it is not by chance that you are here. Before we dive into our Q&A, I am so stoked to announce a new tracker that is going to change and revolutionize the way you see your personal growth and your development. So what do I mean by that? It is a new consistency tracker. The number one thing that I get feedback on is people want more consistency. They want accountability. They want a better system, and it needs to be simple. And so I spent the last month brainstorming, conceptualizing, and working on a very simple yet beautiful and profound consistency tracker. Consistency and growth tracker. This is a way, honestly, I believe it's going to be the ultimate resource for you, anybody who's serious about growth and wants a better system and visual to make that invisible progress of growth actually visual. You are going to be able to use what I've created as a future self calculator, decide exactly and calculate what kind of habits you need to have to be a person who becomes and creates the life that you want. Then we're going to be going and diving into the 333 method in a digital way, then a way for you to track your wins and your breakthroughs, and a power phrase library. Literally everything I coach on here, all in one spot for your growth. You can find it at trishblackwell.com/consistency. So go find that link, and I'll make sure it's linked up. And right now, because it's new, a new resource, there's a discount price on it. I have been using this in the last 2 weeks myself, and it has been absolutely game changing in my habits. I'm already massively consistent. This took it to another level and gamified it. It made it a little bit more fun. So I'm really want you guys to know I'm always brainstorming. How can I create more resources, better, simple tools, so that the things and the concepts we talk about here on the podcast aren't just concepts that you hear and you say, oh, cool, I'll maybe do that. But they're so easy to incorporate and implement into your life. So I'm so stoked. Please, just even if you don't want to get it, check it out. I'm pretty proud of it. Let's dive right into these listener submitted questions. This one is from Vera. She says this: Trish, I admire your drive and positivity that you always bring to the day. It's so great. There is something I would like to hear your opinion about. How to become confident that even if I decide to advance in my career, I will not lose close connection to my children. Will I still have time for my children and stay connected to them, remain their main go-to support person? There are too many business corporate women in leadership positions have had to make sacrifices. And honestly, I do not know a single one that would make it. The daddy then becomes the main person or the nanny or the grandmother, but not them. These high-performing leadership women have to invest so many working hours that another person needs to be there for their children. And then they have them, but somebody else is the main person. And knowing that children grow so fast, the time with them is small and never returns. What do I do with that? So Vera, we've already coached on this question a little bit in the College of Confidence, but I want to go a little bit more in depth because I know you're not the only one in that position. You've got big dreams. You want to design your life and have this career ambitions, and you also want to be a very involved, hands-on, present mother. And I do believe there's a way to do both, but I think we have to prioritize what's our top priority at any given time. I also want to offer to you that just because you see other people not doing it well doesn't mean that it's not possible. It means we want to look at how other people are prioritizing or leading their lives and decide, is that what we want my life to look like? Or how do I need to different? What is working? Going back to the 3 questions I often coach on. Hey, what's working here? What's not? And what do I want to do differently than what I see them do? So we can look at success ahead of us always leaves clues, but it also leaves feedback for us to be able to pivot. And I want to offer to you that even in a corporate setting, now I speaking from my own experience, and I own my own business, but I've customized that and created it for a decade around this vision that I wanted to be location independent. I wanted to be time independent so that I could be the driven leader that I want to be and fully present with my children. However, I understand that not everyone's in that position, but that doesn't mean we still don't have some control over what we want it to look like and how we want to design what our professional life looks like and our personal life. So I think it's really important to put boundaries on your time when you're not in work. When you're not in work, you are unavailable. And so we want to say, as a driven high achiever, I work with excellence, but I also live with excellence, meaning I'm fully present. I'm fully engaged. I don't just love my work. I love my life. I love my children. Where I am fully present. And if you study high achievers, they are able to be fully present, but that means they have to compartmentalize and you have to delegate and outsource. And so maybe the delegation, some of it goes into maybe your partner, your nanny, some support care, but maybe the delegation goes more higher in the workplace, that you can delegate more and still be an impactful leader, but then be more present with your kids. So what I want to actually propose, Vera, is that you get curious about what is your optimal life design. You can design your day. You can design what your family life, what your intimacy and your relationship and your patterns with your kids are. Because even if you are working a demanding job that's requiring 50, 60, 70 hours a week, you still have time in your week. And how do we get creative about customizing what works so that you can also be present for your kids? I'm not saying I have an easy answer. I want you to get excited about the fact that you can design your future, and you can design it if you're working for someone. You can design it if you're working for yourself. And it's also never too late. You're never too far gone into your lifestyle to then get curious and look at redesigning your life. Now, you go, cool, Trish. How? Well, first off, we could work on this in the College of Confidence, my coaching program, but also episode 611, just scroll back in the podcast just a little bit. And episode 611 is called Designing Your Life and Believing That It Can Really Happen. So we start going, what if I can be different? What would it look like? First, we have to know what we want. You want to be fully present with your kids and you want to advance professionally. Now, we want to then ask the question, what if that is truly possible? What would it look like? Who would I need to be? How would I need to be? What kind of person would I need to be to create that life design? How would I prioritize? What kind of habits would I have? What kind of boundaries would I have? What would I be willing to ask for? And then we start asking ourselves a better question of, what if this is simpler than I think it is? And we go to work there. So check out episode 611. I hope that helps. We have another question. This one is from Jay. They said this: Trish, first off, I love your podcast. One of my coworkers recommended it to me, and it helped me so much with thinking about life and my confidence. Hey, coworkers out there, thank you for sharing the show. Now for the problem. I started this new job back in June, and I was just out of college and not entirely sure what to do. So I figured I would just try a sales position. The issue is I don't like it, and my mentality is suffering. But an opportunity has moved on. I'm afraid to leave my current job because I'm not sure I'll be happy in the long term. If I believe deep down that I make the wrong decision, I don't want to fail or disappoint myself. Any advice is greatly appreciated. And here's my answer. I don't believe there's any such thing as a wrong decision. In the same way, we make a decision and then you back yourself up. I want you to have your own back over your decisions. And I think that when you look at making a decision, I want you to think about you are a ship leaving harbor. As the ship leaves harbor, and if there's a storm comes or wind that comes, you can always course correct. You can adjust the sails. So if you take said new job, you can always course correct to redirect and pivot. And that's still part of the bigger story, the bigger journey. I think sometimes we go, what if it's a dead end, or it's this very fixed statement that I tried it didn't work, and I feel shame. And I can remember feeling like that in my young 20s of when I was really trying to figure out my career path. And I wish that somebody had told me then what I know now, that every decision, every job, every experience is building upon one another and helping you know for sure what kind of work you can be doing. But more than anything, it's cultivating a very can-do attitude. You are curating and cultivating a skill set that is invaluable, even if it's not your ideal. And I want to speak to those of you who are in sales. I think, having been in sales for 10 years when I did not want to be in sales, it's one of the best things you can do for your confidence, because you can't sell without confidence. And I also believe if you have a base in sales of any type, I don't care if it's car sales, insurance sales, personal training sales, digital marketing sales will help you become a more confident person, because you have to figure out how to put yourself out there, how to get leads, how to close deals. You have to take risks. You have to be willing to be told no. You develop a thick skin. And then when you also realize if you can do that, you can do anything. And the other beautiful thing about learning the skill of sales is that you then, I believe, have an employable skill set. It is a skill set that you could use and have in your back pocket any time in your future, because every field needs a salesperson. I don't care if you like it or not. I do think it's a really, really good skill. And it's hard. A lot of people hate sales because there's a lot of rejection, and there's a learning curve, and you've got your own confidence to work at. You have to sell with confidence. You have to learn how to persuade people. You have to understand the psychology, personality, and numbers and closing. And I mean, it sounds simple. It's actually really incredibly in-depth process that if you can learn to be a student of it, even if you don't like it, as you consider should you stay or should you go, I want you to ask yourself, in a job that you don't like, what can I take from this? What is this teaching me that I may need for the rest of my life? I think if you go into work every single week and say, there's something here for me, I think that's huge. Now, another element of that, it might even just be, this is my training ground to decide if I'm going to be a positive person or a negative person. Every person in this world, I really believe, has a positive charge and a negative charge. And positive people, they attract people. They encourage people. They build others up. People are drawn to them. A negative person repels people. Negativity builds upon negativity, attracts other negativity, and before you know it, you're complaining, you're making excuses, and you just find yourself hating your job. And so even in work that we don't like, the challenge, the thing that calls us up to a higher level, the better version of ourselves is, can I choose to be positive even in a situation I don't love? because when you can stay positive no matter what, that is power for you for the rest of your life. So there's a lot of good in here, Jay. So I hope that helps. But two things that when it came down to your question was you have a deep down fear that you're afraid of making the wrong decision. This could be with somebody in a job. This could be maybe pressure someone's putting on themselves about choosing a place to live, a college to go to, a person to marry or date. Look, the best decision is the one. You're never going to be 100% on a decision. I really believe that if you're 55% confident, it's confident enough in a decision. But I go into depth on decisions and trusting your decisions. I've got 2 podcast episodes for you. One is episode 512. I'm going to link these all in the bio, all in the notes. 512 is trusting yourself and your decisions. So scroll on back or head to the show notes, episode 512, or episode 595, which is making decisions and delegating with confidence. So episode 512 and 595 are going to be good go-tos for you. This one is from S. They said this, Trish, I'm not sure if you get your DMs on Instagram. By the way, I do. I love hearing from you all. So on Insta, I'm Trish_Blackwell. Come follow me. Come say hi. Come ask me questions. But I figured this was worth a shot. I wanted to know if you could do an episode on bouncing back after failure. I know that there may be some past episodes on this, but I just found out that I failed the bar exam after the 3rd attempt. I'm completely heartbroken over it. A job lined up that was contingent on my results as well, and unfortunately, they declined. They rescinded the offer. And then my self-esteem and my confidence have taken such a hit. So my faith is a little shaken. I could use advice. Now, S, I'm just calling you S. Look, I want you guys to know I protect your privacy unless you give me permission to use your name. And I love this question because so many of us have been there. I actually want you to know I have worked with clients who have failed the bar exam multiple times, medical exams multiple times, LSAT, but then failed LSAT, but then get a full ride to Harvard. Can I just let you know that just because you didn't pass a test, you didn't test well one day, it has no reflection on your intelligence, no bearing on your future, no impact on your true capacity. What it is a test of, are you willing to dig down deeper? Are you willing to say, I have grit and I have unwavering passion and perseverance to pursue this long-term goal. I have stamina. I will not be dissuaded. I will not give up. In fact, we actually are coaching the whole month in the College of Confidence on grit and mental toughness. So I would recommend you come and join us if you want to become somebody who says, I will let my passion and my perseverance give me the stamina that I need to go through the failure, the disappointment, the discouragement, and I will keep going, keep knocking on doors, keep showing up until I get the result I want. We are coaching. We have like 8 workshops lined up for that exact topic and how to implement that in your life. That's all happening in the College of Confidence, which you can find out about at collegeofconfidence.com. So it's okay for your faith to be shaken. It's okay to feel discouraged. But what we do is we throw ourselves a little pity party for like 5 minutes. You can have it for a day if you want. And then I want you to take a pen and I want you to imagine you've got your pity party. You're feeling sorry for yourself. That's good. I need to do that sometimes. But then I take a pen and I have a metaphorical, I imagine balloons over top of my head. And then I take my pen and I pop them. And I literally take if you're watching the video, you see I have a pen in my hand and I'm popping the balloons over my head because I'm telling myself, I'm giving myself a visual, a physical indicator that the pity party's done. That yes, it stinks that I have to take the testing. And yes, it stinks I got rejected. Yes, I'm super discouraged that thing that I thought was going to work didn't work, that I worked really, really hard. Because it comes back to the question, when your best is not good enough, does that mean you're not good enough? And no, it does not. It just means that you weren't good enough right then. And then rather than say, what's wrong with me, we have to ask ourselves a better question. If you ask negative questions, you're going to get negative answers. When you ask yourself powerful questions, you get better answers. And so the question is, what can I do to be better? If my best was not good enough to pass, how can my best get better? And I would say, do not give up. You regain your confidence by saying this is my willingness to keep going. I will not give up on my dream. And even just the declaration that you will not give up on your dream and that you're not alone. You're not the only person who's had to pass. These tests are hard. The dream job, the rejections, they're hard. There's a lot of people vying for one spot, right? We have to give ourselves context to go, all right, this is hard, but it's a good thing I know I can do hard things. So that's how we're going to give ourselves confidence. We're going to go, hey, wait, I need to remind myself I don't give up. I need to remind myself I've got the passion for this career. I will do what it takes. Other people, they're not that much smarter than me. They just tested better that day. I'm going to do better. I don't care if it takes me 3 more times. I will pass that. I am on my way. I am going to be a practicing lawyer, and it's just done. Decide ahead of time, and I will knock down every hurdle. I will keep going until this is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm on my way, and I can do hard things. So we have to encourage ourselves and remind ourselves, I can do hard things. So I've got 2 episodes for you. One is episode 591. I love this episode. It's disappointment and discouragement, how to stay confident when you feel down. Woo! Look, I feel like this is like the story of my life is this walking through discouragement and disappointment. You guys might not see that on the outside, but it feels I have a lot of deep stories of that. So episode 591 is really going to take some of what I'm saying here at a deeper level. And then episode 622, it's really simple. It's really beautiful. How to never give up. Because I can say all I want, don't give up. But like episode 622 is going to give you the how of to not give up. Okay. So let's finish out. We got one more question. And this one is from No Name. They signed off Lost in NJ. So, hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but I love Jersey. We have a beach house in Jersey. I grew up going to the Jersey Shore. Love me some Jersey. So to my friend in Jersey, they said, hey, long time listener here. I've never been a good athlete or student. I was raised in dysfunction and continued the cycle. I've always been shy and scared of socializing, and I'm not sure why. So we have definitely had some different paths. That's what they say. Having said that, 2 years ago, I left an easy administrative assistant job where I made okay money, but was super unfulfilled. I met someone who dispatched for the police, and I took a leap of faith and quit the only job I knew to pursue this new field, which was better paid and offered a pension. I got sent to the overnight shift. After working 22 years in normal business hours and weekends, a holiday off, I flipped my world upside down. And even though that shift nearly destroyed me, I am so stinking proud of myself. I'm currently on a switch with a coworker during the day shift, but in January, I'm going to be back to nights for the foreseeable future. So this job's all about seniority, and I'm older than most everyone with the lowest seniority. Here's the question, am I selfish or lazy or stupid for setting a boundary that I can just not do overnights? I'm feeling tremendous guilt about it, but I was absolutely miserable, and I did it for 16 months. I'm feeling like a failure because the job pays well, but I just cannot do nights. I'm stewing in this, and I don't know why I'm asking your opinion. So here's what I'm going to say, my friend. Trust your gut. Listen, life, I want you to have big goals. I want us to go big. But if you're miserable in life just to make a paycheck, and there's no beyond that, and there's no end. Now, if they said to you, hey, we've got overnights, we need you to do it for 8 months, and then after that, we can guarantee your day shift forever, from foreseeable future. Okay, maybe when you see the grind and you go, I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I have advocated for myself and made it really clear. Here's what I'm going to say. And you mentioned too that this is causing some high anxiety, the thought of having to do this. So first and foremost, I want to offer to you, if you've not yet taken learn my anxiety neutralization technique. It's a course that I have available. You can find it at trishblackwell.com/anxiety. But more than that, I want you to ask for what you want. And I don't think you're lazy. I don't think it's selfish. I don't think it's stupid. I think you know what sits right. And if you really hate night shift, then let's not do it. But we have to ask ourselves, I don't have the full context of where you are financially, what your retirement plan looks like, or I don't even know your age. So none of that actually matters, but we got to ask big picture, what do you want for your life? And have you actually very directly said, what can I do to not work night shift? It's not good for my health. Or could I do it for a short period of time and then become permanent in day? I really want to encourage you guys to have the courage to ask for what you want. Asking for what you want. It feels bold because you might go, well, everybody wants day shift, but have you actually asked? Now, maybe you have. Ask again. My mama taught me the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Keep asking for what you want. Be the most vocal about wanting it. And ask, hey, even if I can't, maybe I need to do night shift for January and February. But what do you need to see from me to earn the right and the privilege? I value this pension. I value the pay. I'm so grateful. Like, we want to praise the employment. Thank you so much. I love being part of this place, this work field. I am so grateful. But can you give me feedback on what do you need to see change in me to have the seniority and to have the preference of the shift that works for me? Or is there another district or area that I could go work? I'm willing to commute a little bit further if you could help me set up daytime. I'm not sure how it works, but what I'm hearing is let's ask for what we want. And if we can't get it, we then have to make a decision. Is there another field I could pivot to, or how long can I do this to set myself up financially for a pivot or for retirement? So I hope that helps, guys. Happy whatever day of the week you're listening. I hope you're having a great morning, a great run, a great commute. If you like the show, please leave a review. Please keep the questions coming. I can't promise that I'm going to do Q&As often, but if you give me the feedback, I would love to keep the Q&As coming. So submit your questions by just emailing me, trish@trishblackwell.com, or DMing me, come and saying hi on Instagram. And if you're watching on video, on YouTube, on Spotify, say hi. It helps me know. It takes a lot of extra, honestly, it's a little extra effort to do the video element. So I do want to hear the feedback if you guys are liking that or not. And next week, we're going to be talking about how to really love yourself and love your life. I'm really stoked about some of the concepts that are going to be really simple and really powerful. And you're going to find, I guarantee you that next week, you will actually feel better about yourself and about your life just from listening to the show. That's how good it's going to be. All right, so make sure you're following the show. I will see you guys next week. In the meantime, and those of you who coach with me in the College of Confidence, don't forget to go grab access to the consistency tracker. Go to trishblackwell.com/consistency. And when we're not doing our Q&A sessions, we are going to be having the power phrase pyramid is coming back. So don't worry, that's not gone anywhere. But on Q&A, there's no power phrases, right? So we don't have a pyramid that's themed around something. I can give you those. So go be more of who God created you to be. Be you. Be free. Thanks for listening to the Confidence Podcast and allowing me to be your coach today in your life. If you love the show, please let us know by leaving a review in iTunes. Are you encouraged by what you learned? Share this episode with a friend and let us know that the show is changing your life by saying hi to us on social media at Instagram, Trish_Blackwell, or on Facebook, Trish Blackwell Coaching. Ready to take what I teach and really take it to the next level? Join us today in the College of Confidence. It's my group coaching program that you can join risk-free and cancel anytime. In the COC, you'll scale your confidence, your courage, and the changes you make in your life. It's the coaching support and community you've been looking for. Go to www.collegeofconfidence.com to get started. If you love the podcast, you will love the College of Confidence even more and see even more transformation in your life. Come and see for yourself. I'm cheering you on, friend. See you soon.